begin with, can you tell me a little bit about, for the benefit of people at home, the story of Dom Hemingway?
The story, very simply, is about a man who gets out of prison. He's been in prison for 12 years. He sees himself as this sort of rock and roll Elvis Presley of bank robbers, and in fact he is absolutely the opposite. He's a sort of degenerate, petty crook. You then follow him on a journey really where he tries to get money that he's owed, that fails, and really in the end it's a journey into who he is and whether he can connect again with his daughter, who cut him off when he went inside. So the film really is a sort of slice of this guy's life, and he's hilarious and vulgar and shocking and outspoken and drunken and poetic and kind of brilliant, I think. So it's really a sort of an inroad journey into a man's life.
Fantastic. So this screenplay comes through your letterbox, you pick it up. What was the first thing that really jumped out at you and made you think, I've got to do this movie?
I think the humour made me laugh out loud, which doesn't often happen. It shocked me, which doesn't often happen. There were these huge monologues, these drunken rants, which went on for page after page, which you often get in theatre scripts, but not in film scripts, and I love those. And I suppose also that there was just something unabashed about him. It's often, in a world of political correctness, it's not often you get characters who are so outspoken and rude at times, and yet it's something I think we all wish we could be a little bit more. And at the same time, I sort of fell for him. I liked him, and so I hoped that I could bring that out of the character and that people would forgive his vulgarities and fall for him as well.
Absolutely. Going for a bit of a tangent now, how important are short films for the film industry?
Gosh, where'd that come from? Well, short films are another art form, and anything that encourages the use of film and making of film, I think, is a good thing. I mean, I know they're sometimes used, and rightly so, to get money and bigger productions off the ground, but on the whole I kind of prefer them when they're a short film in their own right.
Absolutely. Very quickly, what's your favourite Christmas movie?
Probably It's a Wonderful Life.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
I'm probably not the first to have said it though.
Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you.
Hi there, Jude.
Hello.
Hi there, Jude. In the film, it's very emotionally and physically naked. I mean, how do you go about doing that in a really honest way?
Commitment, I suppose. You just dive in.
But is it a challenge to hold anything back?
Yeah. Well, no, No, it's more a release, you know? And it felt at the time like I was sort of ready for that. I'd been looking for a part that, I don't know, it's interesting how often you play parts, and they can sometimes be harder, which are to do with layers and limitations, you know? And playing someone who is completely sort of like an open wound it's strangely kind of releasing and quite fun. But it did require a lot of checking your seatbelt before you did it. Well, actually, that's the wrong analogy. I checked with everyone around me, the director, the producer, and so on, before I made the leap that I was in safe hands, because I knew once I made the leap, I was going to free fall. So I wanted to make sure I was caught safely at the end.
Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Hi Jude, Claire, very pleased to meet you this
How are you?
evening. Very well, thank you. And one of your lines in the film is "Words are easy," and I think what makes Dom so interesting is that for somebody that's pretty uncouth, he has an amazing way with words.
Yeah, he
and
does.
Did that attract you to the
Absolutely. Absolutely. There was something about his poetic, ill-educated, ranting, but at times almost, he reminded me of characters out of Dickens or out of Shakespeare even. And although vulgar, you kind of realise that there was a man with a real vision and a passion of life. And these huge speeches that rolled on and on and on, which you don't often get in film scripts, were really a huge part of why I took it. Yeah, a huge part of why I took it, but also very funny. That he was able to be so funny and rude at the same time.
And with regards to the physicality, I don't know how you, with your technique, whether you use animals to base your part on?
Sometimes.
Because to me, he seemed very gorilla-like.
Did he? Yeah, you might be onto something there. There was more just a sense, we worked, Richard, the director, and I worked on the idea that here's a man who really just had gone to seed, you know, spiritually and physically, and so the food and the diet and smoking and all of that stuff really helped. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it really did.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.